I was at work. I used to stay late a lot. Someone had left a bag on my desk. There was no one else in the office but me. I decided to see whose bag it was. It looks like a man's. I should look inside, maybe there will be some documents, then I'll understand who left the bag. In the second chapter, I found our secretary's driver's license in the bag. That didn't surprise me, he's always been absent-minded. But in the same bag I found something strange. My unfaithful wife's underwear. There could be no mistake. I personally ordered it from a designer. This set is one of a kind. I was furious. I decided to take revenge. That's what happened next. At the end of the story, I managed to get revenge not only on my unfaithful wife, but also on our secretary. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead, casting a sterile glow over the rows of empty desks. It's nearly midnight, and the office is silent except for the occasional creak of the building settling. I glance at the clock on my computer screen and rub my eyes. Staying late has become a habit, a way to avoid the emptiness of my apartment and the painful thoughts that come with it. As I stretch and lean back in my chair, I notice something unusual. There's a black leather bag on my desk, one that wasn't there when I went to grab coffee a few minutes ago. My heart skips a beat. I scan the office. There's no one else here but me. I get up and walk around my desk, examining the bag. It's not mine, and it definitely looks like a man's. The leather is worn, with scuffs that suggest it's seen better days. Curiosity gets the better of me. I pick it up, feeling its weight. Heavy. It must contain something important. Whose bag could this be? I mutter to myself. The logical part of my brain tells me to leave it alone, but the nagging suspicion urges me to look inside. Maybe there will be some documents, then I'll understand who left the bag. I unbuckle the clasp and lift the flap. The first thing I see is a neatly folded blue shirt, which looks like it belongs to a man. Beneath it, there's a notebook and a pair of gloves. I dig deeper, fingers brushing against something smooth and cool. Pulling it out, I find a leather wallet. Inside, I discover our secretary's driver's license. Of course, Daniel, I sigh, shaking my head. He's always been absent-minded, leaving things behind, forgetting appointments. I prepare to close the bag and send him a message in the morning. But something stops me, a flash of lace beneath the shirt. Frowning, I pull out the delicate fabric. It's a woman's lingerie, red and black, intricately designed. My breath catches in my throat as I recognize it. This isn't just any lingerie, it's a one-of-a-kind set I ordered for my wife from a designer. There can be no mistake. Rage boils within me, a storm brewing in my chest. My unfaithful wife. The woman I've shared my life with, betrayed by someone I work with. The realization hits me like a freight train, and I clench my fists, the delicate fabric crumpling in my grip. I stand there, seething, my mind racing with thoughts of betrayal and revenge. How could she? And with Daniel, of all people. My eyes narrow as I start to form a plan. This won't go unanswered. They'll both pay for this, for the lies and deceit. I put the lingerie back into the bag, along with the wallet and other items, and set it back on my desk. My hands are shaking, but my resolve is firm. Curiosity gets the better of far from over. I will make sure they regret crossing me. I sit back down, the anger giving way to a cold determination. I'll bide my time, gather evidence, and then strike when they least expect it. They'll never see it coming. As the clock ticks towards midnight, I feel a strange sense of calm. The office remains silent, but the quiet is now charged with the promise of retribution. This isn't just about revenge, it's about reclaiming my dignity and making them pay for every lie and every betrayal. With a final glance at the bag, I shut down my computer and stand up. I head for the door, the plan already forming in my mind. By the time this is over, they'll both wish they had never crossed paths with me. Tomorrow is a new day, and it will mark the beginning of their end. The morning sun filters through the blinds of my office, casting long shadows across the floor. I've barely slept, my mind racing with plans and schemes. I arrive early, needing to clear my head before the rest of the team trickles in. The bag is still on my desk, a stark reminder of the betrayal. Just as I'm about to sit down, the office door swings open and Daniel, our secretary, walks in. He's whistling softly, oblivious to the storm brewing in my head. "Morning, boss," he says with a cheerful smile. "You're here early." "Yeah, couldn't sleep," I reply, keeping my tone neutral. "Say, did you leave something on my desk last night?" Daniel's face lights up with realization. "Oh, my bag. I must have left it here when I was tidying up. Thanks for finding it." He reaches for the bag, but I stop him, my hand resting firmly on top of it. "Daniel, we need to talk." His smile falters, replaced by a look of confusion. "Sure, what's up?" Before I can respond, Sarah, our HR manager, walks in. She's always punctual, her no-nonsense attitude evident in her brisk steps. "Morning, everyone. What's going on?" "Perfect timing, Sarah," I say. "We were just about to have a little chat." She looks between us, sensing the tension. Should I be concerned? I motion for both of them to sit. Daniel's confusion deepens, but he obeys. Sarah, always the professional, sits with a straight back, ready for whatever comes. I take a deep breath. "Daniel, I found something in your bag last night that doesn't belong to you." He looks genuinely puzzled. "What do you mean?" I don't understand. I pull out the laundry, placing it on the desk between us. Sarah gasps, covering her mouth with her hand. Daniel's eyes widen in shock. "Where did you get this?" I ask, my voice low and dangerous. Daniel stammers, I don't know how that got in there. I swear, it's not mine." "Then whose is it?" I demand. The office door opens again, and to my surprise, it's Lisa, our new intern. She's young, eager, and has a knack for showing up at the most inconvenient times. Am I interrupting something?" she asks, her eyes flicking to the laundry on the desk. "Perfect timing, Lisa," I say, my voice tight. "Close the door and have a seat." She does as told, her eyes wide with curiosity and confusion. "Let's get one thing straight," I continue, looking directly at Daniel. "This lingerie belongs to my wife. I ordered it for her myself. It's one of a kind." Daniel's face turns pale. I swear, I have no idea how it got into my bag. Someone must be trying to set me up. Sarah clears her throat, regaining her composure. "Let's not jump to conclusions. We need to investigate this properly." I nod, appreciating her level-headedness. "You're right. But first, Daniel, can you account for your whereabouts last night after work?" He nods vigorously. "Yes, I went straight home. You can ask my roommate, Tom. He'll vouch for me." "I'll check with him," Sarah says, making a note. "But we need more than just an alibi." I turn to Lisa. "You've been here late the past few nights, right?" She nods, her eyes darting nervously between us. "Yes, I've been working on the marketing project." "Did you see anyone else in the office last night?" I ask. She hesitates, then says, "I saw Daniel leave around 7. But I did hear someone moving around later, around 9 or so." My heart pounds in my chest. "Did you see who it was?" She shakes her head. "No, I was in the break room. When I came out, the lights were off, and I thought I was alone." Sarah sighs. "This is getting us nowhere. We need concrete evidence." Just then, my phone buzzes. It's a message from an unknown number. I open it and my blood runs cold. It's a photo of my wife meeting someone at a restaurant. The timestamp is from last night. "Looks like we have another lead," I say, showing the picture to Sarah and Daniel. "We need to find out who took this photo and why they sent it to me." Sarah nods. "I'll look into it." But for now, let's keep this between us. No need to cause a scandal without proof. I agree, though the rage simmering inside me is hard to contain. Daniel, you're on thin ice. If I find out you're involved in this, there will be consequences. He swallows hard and nods. Understood. As they leave my office, I sit back, staring at the photo on my phone. The pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together, but the picture they form is one I'm not ready to face. I need to find out who's behind this and why they're targeting me. And when I do, they'll regret ever crossing my path. The office hums with the usual morning activity, but I can't focus on the mundane tasks at hand. My mind is consumed with thoughts of betrayal and revenge. The photo on my phone is a constant reminder of the deceit lurking beneath the surface of my daily life. I need answers, and I need them fast. I decide to call my wife, Emma, under the guise of checking in. My fingers tremble slightly as I dial her number. The phone rings a few times before she answers, her voice sounding as cheerful as ever. "Hey, honey. How's work going?" she asks, her tone light and carefree. "Busy as always," I reply, trying to keep my voice steady. "Just wanted to see how your evening was. Did you do anything interesting?" There's a slight pause, a barely perceptible hesitation. "Oh, nothing much. Just stayed in and caught up on some reading." Liar. The word echoes in my mind, but I force myself to stay calm. Sounds relaxing. "Well, I won't keep you. Just wanted to say hi." "Thanks, love. See you tonight," she says, and we hang up. I stare at the phone, the anger bubbling up again. She lied to me without batting an eye. I need to find out who she was meeting and why. My thoughts are interrupted by a knock on my office door. It's Lisa, looking nervous but determined. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" she asks, stepping inside. "Of course. What's on your mind?" I motion for her to sit. Been thinking about last night, she begins, fidgeting with her hands. "There's something I didn't mention earlier. When I was in the break room, I overheard part of a conversation. I couldn't see who it was, but I heard your name. My pulse quickens." "What did they say?" "It was a man's voice. He said something about it keeping him in the dark and using the bag as a distraction. Then I heard someone else, a woman, but I couldn't make out what she said." "Why didn't you tell me this earlier?" I ask, trying to keep my frustration in check. "I wasn't sure if it was important, but after seeing how upset you were, I thought it might be relevant," she says, looking down. "Thank you, Lisa. This helps more than you know," I say, my mind racing with this new information. As Lisa leaves, I decide to confront Daniel again. I need to know if he's part of this conspiracy or just an unwitting pawn. I find him in the break room, making a cup of coffee. "Daniel, we need to talk," I say, closing the door behind me. He looks up, his face pale. "What now?" "I need you to be honest with me. Are you involved in whatever scheme is going on?" I ask, my voice low but firm. His eyes widen. "I swear, I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't put that lingerie in my bag, and I don't know why someone is trying to frame me." "Someone overheard a conversation last night," I say, watching his reaction closely. "They mentioned using the bag as a distraction and keeping me in the dark. Do you know anything about that?" Daniel shakes his head vehemently. "No, I swear. I've been loyal to this company and to you. I would never do something like this." I study his face, looking for any sign of deceit, but all I see is fear and confusion. Maybe he's telling the truth, but that doesn't clear him completely. "All right," I say finally. "I believe you, for now. But if I find out you're lying, there will be consequences." Nods, looking relieved. "Thank you. I'll do whatever I can to help you get to the bottom of this." Leaving the break room, I bump into Sarah. She's on her way to the conference room for a meeting, but she stops when she sees me. "Any updates?" she asks. "Possibly. Lisa overheard a conversation last night. Someone's trying to keep me in the dark and use Daniel's bag as a distraction, I explain. Sarah's expression hardens. This is getting more complicated by the minute. We need to figure out who's behind this and why. Agreed. Any luck with the photo? I ask. Not yet. I've been trying to trace the number, but it's unregistered. I'm going to reach out to a contact in IT. They might be able to help, she says. Good. Let me know as soon as you find something, I say, and she nods before hurrying off. I return to my office, my mind swirling with questions. Who's targeting me? Why involve Daniel? And what does my wife have to do with all of this? Suddenly, my phone buzzes again. Another message from the unknown number. This time, it's a video. With a sinking feeling, I press play. The footage is grainy but clear enough to recognize the figures. It's Emma sitting at a table in a dimly lit restaurant. Across from her is a man I don't recognize. They're talking, and then he reaches across the table to hold her hand. My heart feels like it's being squeezed in a vice. This is proof of her betrayal. But who is this man, and what's his connection to everything else? Determined to get answers, I call Sarah again. I just received a video. It's my wife meeting a man at a restaurant. Can you find out who he is? Send it to me, she says immediately. I'll get on it. I forward the video, feeling a mix of rage and helplessness. The pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together, but the picture is still unclear. I need to confront Emma, but I have to be careful. If she's part of this scheme, she might try to cover her tracks. The rest of the day passes in a blur. I go through the motions, but my mind is elsewhere. When the clock finally hits 5, I grab my coat and head home, dreading the confrontation ahead. As I walk through the door, Emma greets me with a smile. Hey, how was your day? I force a smile. Long. We need to talk. Her smile falters. Sure. What's wrong? I pull out my phone and show her the video. Care to explain this? Her face goes white as she watches the video. I can explain. Please do, I say, crossing my arms. It's not what it looks like, she says, her voice trembling. That man is a client. We were discussing business. Business? While holding hands? I ask, my voice rising. It's complicated, she says, tears welling up in her eyes. I didn't want to tell you because I knew you'd react like this. You lied to me, I say, the anger boiling over. And now I find out you're meeting some guy behind my back. Who is he really, Emma? She shakes her head, sobbing. I can't tell you. It's not safe. Not safe? What are you talking about? I demand. Please, just trust me, she pleads. I'm trying to protect you. Protect me from what? I ask, but she just shakes her head, refusing to say more. Frustrated and furious, I storm out of the house. The pieces are falling into place, but the picture they form is more terrifying than I ever imagined. Someone's targeting me, my wife is involved in something dangerous, and I'm caught in the middle. As I drive aimlessly through the city, my phone buzzes again. Another message from the unknown number. This time, it's a single sentence, meet me at the old warehouse at midnight if you want answers. I have no choice. I need to know the truth. Whatever it takes, I will uncover the conspiracy and make those responsible pay. The city is eerily quiet as I drive to the old warehouse, the message from the unknown number echoing in my mind. The streets are dark, lit only by the occasional flickering streetlight. The warehouse looms ahead, an abandoned relic from a bygone era, its windows shattered and walls covered in graffiti. I park the car, my heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. As I approach the entrance, I see a figure standing in the shadows. It's hard to make out their features, but I can tell it's a man. He steps forward, and I recognize him from the video, Emma's mysterious companion. "You're here," he says, his voice calm and measured. "Who are you?" I demand, my voice trembling with barely contained anger. "And what the hell is going on?" "My name is Alex," he replies. "And I'm here to help you." "Help me? By meeting with my wife behind my back?" I ask, my fists clenching. "It's not what you think," Alex says, raising his hands in a placating gesture. "Emma asked for my help because she's been trying to protect you." "Protect me from what?" I ask, my frustration mounting. "From a conspiracy that runs deeper than you can imagine," Alex says. "But we need to move inside. It's not safe out here." Reluctantly, I follow him into the warehouse. The air is thick with dust, and the floor is littered with debris. Alex leads me to a small room at the back, where a single light bulb hangs from the ceiling, casting a dim glow over the scene. Sitting at a makeshift table is Emma, her face pale and drawn. "James," she says, standing up. "I'm so sorry." "Save it," I snap. "I want answers. Now." Alex closes the door behind us and begins to speak. "Several months ago, Emma discovered that someone within your company was involved in illegal activities, embezzlement, fraud, and worse. She tried to bring it to your attention, but she was threatened." "Threatened by who?" I ask, my mind racing. "By Daniel," Alex says, his voice grim. "He's the mastermind behind it all. When Emma tried to go to the authorities, he found out and threatened to kill you if she didn't keep quiet." "Daniel?" I say, stunned. "But he seemed so harmless." "That's exactly how he wanted to appear," Emma says, stepping forward. "He knew you trusted him, and he used that trust to manipulate and control everything." "But the lingerie in his bag?" I trail off, confused. "That was a setup," Alex explains. "Daniel planted it there to divert your suspicion and to make you question Emma's loyalty. He knew it would drive a wedge between you two and keep you off his trail." "Why didn't you tell me?" I ask Emma, my voice softening. "I was trying to protect you," she says, tears welling up in her eyes. "Daniel is dangerous. He has connections, and I didn't want you to get hurt." I take a deep breath, trying to process everything. "So why now? Why reveal everything tonight?" "Because we have evidence," Alex says, pulling out a flash drive. "Enough to bring Daniel down and expose his entire operation. But we need your help." "My help? What can I do?" I ask. "You need to confront Daniel," Alex says. "Get him to confess. We'll be recording everything. Once we have his confession, we can go to the authorities. It's a risky plan, but I see no other option." "All right. Let's do it." The next morning, I arrive at the office, my heart pounding. Daniel is already there, sipping his coffee as if nothing is amiss. I walk up to him, my expression carefully neutral. "Daniel, we need to talk," I say, motioning for him to follow me to my office. He looks surprised, but follows me. Once inside, I close the door and turn to face him. "I know what you've been doing," I say, my voice low and steady. "And I have evidence." Daniel's eyes widen, but he quickly regains his composure. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Cut the crap," I snap. "I know about the embezzlement, the fraud, all of it. And I have a flash drive full of proof." He blanches, his facade cracking. "You don't know what you're getting into, James." "Maybe not," I say, leaning forward. "But I do know one thing, you're going down." There's a flicker of something in his eyes, fear, anger, desperation. He lunges at me, trying to grab the flash drive from my pocket. We struggle, and for a moment, I think he might overpower me. But then the door bursts open, and Alex rushes in, tackling Daniel to the ground. "Enough!" Alex shouts, pinning Daniel down. "It's over." Daniel struggles, but Alex holds him firm. I take the flash drive from my pocket and hand it to Sarah, who's standing in the doorway, her phone recording everything. We have everything we need, Sarah says, her voice steady. It's time to end this. The police arrive within minutes, and Daniel is taken away in handcuffs, his face a mask of rage and defeat. As he's led out of the office, I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. The nightmare is finally over. Emma and I walk out of the building together, the sun shining brightly overhead. I'm so sorry, James, she says, her voice choked with emotion. I never wanted to hurt you. I know, I say, pulling her into a hug. We'll get through this. Together. As we stand there, holding each other, I feel a sense of hope for the first time in months. The road ahead won't be easy, but we'll face it together, stronger than ever. And as for Daniel, he'll pay for his crimes, and justice will be served. We walk away from the office, leaving the past behind, ready to face whatever the future holds. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like we're finally free.